This is a 2001 Toyota Sienna. Starting off, let's look at that engine bay. Where is it? Oh, it's up here. Give me a second. To open the hood, there's actually a lever right there. And that's how you open up the hood. Oh gosh, this ain't good. Oh, now I gotta hold this with one hand. Ugh. So here's a quick look at the engine bay. It's a V6. Front wheel drive. Oh man, I would hate to do oil change on this car. That filter being right there. Oh, goody. Okay, so let's start off with the hatch. Oh, that's heavy. Here you can see you do have third row seating. And you have this little compartment right here where you have your jack. You also have a light that don't work anymore. I'm pretty sure that's an easy fix. And then for all these seats right here, even though you can't fold them down, you can also take them out of the car. Third row and the second row. And let's look at the bottom. You do have your spare underneath. And then you do have a handle right here, or just something to grab onto to push this down. And then on the left side, you have your gas lid. And then in any typical minivan, you will always find a car seat. And you do have some vents for the back for the passengers. And here is where your vent controls are. And then you do have back pockets on both the driver and passenger side. And on the doors, you have cup holders on every corner. Now let's see what it's like to sit in the back. I really like how these, I think all these seats, besides the third row, they come with armrests on both ends, which is nice. Getting in is very easy. And you do have a decent amount of room. I believe the seat in front of me with the hangers is pushed back all the way back. And then down here, you do have another cup holder. Old school. Now on the side here, you have this carpeted area right here. And you also have your cup holder. And you also have stuff to hang your clothes. And in order to open the door, you got these handles here to open the door. And then getting out, it's fairly easy. Over here you do have this little, I guess, cigarette ash compartment in case your passengers are smoking. And then for the third row seat, getting to the back of the third row seat is fairly easy for a small person like me. And then you do have a speaker down there. I believe this car's got about 4 speakers. And then you still have that carpeted area right here. Hard touch plastic, and you also have this little compartment here to store whatever. And then in order to fold the third seats down, this is where you would have to push, or you have to lift this up, or in this case you would push it down to lift the seat back up, and then to push it up to lift it down. And then you also get the same material storage area back here that's broken. Here's your other speaker. Sitting in the third row seat, Oh man, you actually get a decent amount of room back here. You don't have to be a little kid to sit back here. You could be like a full-grown adult like me and still have a decent amount of room back here. And you do have your own vent up here. You don't have to share it. I believe every single passenger in here has got their own vent. No sunroof. Pretty roomy. Now let's take a look at the passenger side. Oops. Let's try this again. Open sesame. Opening up the passenger side, you see you got your door lock, you got your window switches, and you have a little storage area right here, which I don't think you could fit a bottle unless you do it sideways. And there's your speaker. And then for the passenger seat, you have manually adjustable seat with your own armrest. And you still have, or back then, you have a lockable glove box with very little storage. And then down here, you also have your own cup holder. Materials. You have a soft touch material up here. You got your carpet material right here. You also have another soft touch armrest right here, and everything else is just hard touch plastic. But on the dash, you have soft touch material right here, but then you have hard touch plastic everywhere else. Leg room, there's a lot of room. So if you're taller than me, you will have the space you need. And you get your own personal armrest. No more fighting. Now for the driver's side. On the driver's side, you got the same material, soft, carpet, soft, hard, more carpet, hard. And you also get a light down here. And then you have the same compartment for paper, I guess. And then here you have your dimmer switch, your mirror controls, and your headlight controls. And I believe this steering wheel is only tilt, and it's not telescopic. Then you also have a little compartment here for your change or just cigarette ashes. And then you also have a TPMS reset button here. And you get a foot brake. No, that's a emergency brake. And then for your foot controls, you got some skinny foot controls along with a plastic footrest. And then that's where you'll find your gas cap or gas opening. And then for the seat controls, you have fully manual controls. Hey, but at least you still have your own armrest. Going to the back, let's take a look at the gas compartment. Nice. At the top, you have your light controls, and I don't know what this is. I guess that's where you put your sunglasses. And then for your vanity mirror, you no longer have a light that works, but you do still have your vanity mirror. And then for the infotainment area, you have your very nice CD and cassette player. And you have, I believe that's actually controls for the back windows. For the third, I believe that's the third row, for the third row windows. And then there's like an empty area right here. And then this is where you find your AC controls. Very well laid out. Very simple. And I actually like this layout because usually you find the infotainment system on top these days. And then you will find your AC controls and stuff like that down here. I like how it's all the way up here and infotainment system down here, I guess. Now to your instrument cluster, you have your water temperature, you have your tach, what gear you're in, you have your speedometer, and you also have fuel. And then this is your shifter stock. Nice. That frees up a lot of room down here. And you also get another cup holder and free money. Another compartment here to store, I guess, tampons. And then you have your modes with, I guess this is, oh, over here you have your audio controls. Nice. I didn't know in 2000 you would have this kind of technology. Very nice. And then you have your old school cruise control, which is still on a lot of the modern Toyotas. One last thing, you also have a little storage area where you put your coins. So in this van, you only have two mirror controls for the front driver and passenger. And I don't know why you have a window lock here. I guess if the passenger wants to roll down the windows, I guess you can stop him or her. Starting up the car, you still have your old school key. What's really interesting about this Sienna is that back then you can start the car and take the key out of the ignition. Well, at least I think you can. Maybe not this key, but I remember the stock key, you can actually take the key out of the ignition while it's still running. AC still blows cold. This car currently has 293,000 miles, which is not surprising considering that it's a Toyota. And this is how it would look like if you were to turn around and look at your passengers. Alrighty, let's get this car on the road. Ooh, I really like this steering wheel. It's got like this really weird material, but it's not cracked. I mean, it's got some tiny hints of crack, but overall it feels very good. It's grippy. It's not leather, but it's grippy and it's still in good condition. Now to shift into drive, you also have your overdrive right here, button right here. You would have to use the stock right here. Drive. Throttle response is pretty good. Transmission actually still shifts very good. Brakes, very good. No, I'm just joking. It's decent. For a minivan, it's good. Turning is really good. And like I said before, transmission shifts good. Acceleration is just like how you would imagine back on a 2000 minivan. Visibility up front is really good. You have this big windshield in front of you. Visibility to the side, left and right, very good. There's actually a little rattle coming from the glove box, but that's to be expected from a 19-year-old car. Noise level is actually really good, besides the rattles. And then as for suspension and noise level, it's good, it's quiet. It handles the imperfections very well. Taking it onto this curve here. Body roll, a little bit of body roll. No, I'm just joking. There is some body roll, but it's not that scary. I'm surprised. It's not as scary. Per se, like if you were on a truck. This minivan actually handles the curve a lot better than the truck. And then for brakes, I think the brakes is good. It's got good feel to it. And then for acceleration, if you put your foot all the way down, well, that was going slightly downhill, so, but the acceleration is good. You're not gonna break any records, but it'll get you up to speed just fine. Oh man. I believe this is a 4-speed transmission. It still shifts really good. Brake is good, man. If you're not in no hurry, man, I believe this minivan is good enough. It's got enough room to haul all your kids and your grandparents. It's got 4 speakers, remember that? But all in all, I am pretty impressed with this minivan. Okay guys, so I've been driving this car for a little bit, and I feel like it's a good car if you want to just take your kids to church, you know, go pick them up from school or from practice. You know, being this old, I wouldn't necessarily take it on a long road trip, but you probably could. AC still blows cold. You know, at 290,000 miles, I'm pretty sure this car can still run, you know, if you keep up with the maintenance, it can still run up to, you know, over 300,000 miles, no problem. And, you know, being outdated and old, you don't have no backup camera to assist you, but there's so much glass in this car, like you can see out everywhere. So backing up is not going to be too much of a problem. There's just so much light in here. No sunroof, but you have more light than you need. But yeah, just drive this car around the back roads. It's smooth, man. Transmission still shifts good. Everything's still very good. And that is to no surprise because this is a Toyota. But yeah guys, just driving this car for a little bit now. You really can't see the hood. Top dash here is a little high, but you know, you could always lift your seat up and you still have decent amount of headroom. You know, I believe this is at the top of the seat height. You really can't see any of the hood at all. All you can see is just the windshield wipers. But this car is not intimidating to drive at all. Maybe if you're the first time driver, it might be a little intimidating, but for people who's been driving for a while, getting into this car and driving it, it's not too bad. You know, you don't feel like the car's too big, or you might run off the road, or you're not in, you know, inside of your lane. It's actually very easy to drive. I'm very, very impressed. But I'm pretty sure the newer minivans are a little bit bigger, so I don't know how that story goes. But for this particular year and model, you know, it's simple to drive. Here we are coming to some corners, and man, does this thing handle the corners pretty good. Okay, well, that one, there's a little bit more body roll on that one. Okay, that curve was an exception. But yeah, man, I'm not intimidated to drive this car. It's so easy to drive. It's smooth. The brakes is good. Acceleration is decent for a minivan. It's just an overall easy car to drive, easy car to live with. You got these nice cloth seats. It does have a little bit of back support too. So you're not gonna feel like your back is gonna hurt. The cushion is actually very comfortable, it's very soft. And I've been driving this car for about 30 minutes now, and I don't feel like my bottom is gonna bottom out. It's just not gonna hurt. These are some comfortable cloth seats. And you do sit up pretty high, so your visibility is not gonna be a factor. Yeah guys, that concludes my review of this 2001 Toyota Sienna. I'm still surprised this car's speedometer still works. Wow. Now that's a big minivan.